When you understand what I call the game behind the game, that we are all living this world of energy, the energetics behind life, that statement becomes a truth. When we worry, we're literally running ourselves energetically in the exact opposite direction that we want to go. It is not logical to worry. And that sounds so funny because when you're in a high emotional state, you're not thinking logically. Of course you're not. But I'm using my words purposely and because it is a truth. If you actually break it down and you get more clinical around this idea, you're like, yeah, actually worrying isn't, it doesn't make sense. The idea is, again, this is a game time decision episode, and that happens sometimes on the show. You know, I'll be driving to studio and I have an agenda for an episode, but I get intercepted because of whatever. I know that when I get intercepted, it's because some of you or many of you in this moment right now needed this message. This is the Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. Hey, welcome back to the Roxanne Show, or welcome to if you're brand new here. So happy to have you. And today's episode is a little extra special because it was a game time decision that I made today based on current circumstances that are unfolding. And the content on the show is evergreen for the most part. And what I intend to share with you today is also timeless, the principles, but they are inspired. They're being pulled off of the current circumstance that is these fires that are running through Los Angeles right now. And they're pretty massive. So by the time you take this in, I mean, it could be right after the case. It could be 3 years later. Who knows? But again, the focus that I have for you in this episode today is this. It was actually a statement that came through me when I was waking up this morning. So my brain waves, I'm moving from theta to alpha. We all do this when we are waking up. And I heard the words, worrying is losing. Worrying is losing. And I'm excited to unpack that for you. When you understand the laws of the universe, when you understand what I call the game behind the game, that we are all living this world of energy, the energetics behind life, that statement becomes a truth. Worrying is losing. I know that when shit is hard, that when we're faced with real conflict, real challenge, in this case, there's travesty. You know, people have lost their homes. I mean, it's really heartbreaking, truly. It's very easy to fall into not just worry, but anxiety and, you know, overwhelm and, you know, just you feel devastated. It's so easy to go there. And let me just say this out at the beginning. I am not at all emotionally bypassing at all. But what I do want to highlight here, and maybe the reason why you're actually listening to this is because the title really drew you in, because you're maybe moving through a state of worry, or you feel this energy and you want to know how to get out of it, to combat it, to move through it. And I want you to do that too. So I'm going to present some ideas around this, the idea of worrying is losing. Think about energy. Think about the game behind the game that I just told you. So when we worry, we literally rob ourselves of the arsenal of winning qualities and attributes that we all need, such as courage, such as your spirit, right? Your spirit declines, right? You're not high spirited. You're it's like the light goes into dark, right? You lose your focus. You lose your attention. You lose your composure. You lose the very things that you need to hold yourself in a place of strength, in a place where you can actually center your energy in the direction that you need and want to take yourself, right? When we worry, we're literally running ourselves energetically in the exact opposite direction that we want to go. It is not logical to worry. And that sounds so funny because when you're in a high emotional state, you're not thinking logically. Of course you're not. But I'm using my words purposely and because it is a truth. If you actually break it down and you get more clinical around this idea, you're like, yeah, actually worrying isn't, it's not, it doesn't make sense. Like if I'm worrying, then I'm robbing myself of my courage. I'm robbing myself of my focus. I'm robbing myself of my attention. I'm robbing myself of the spirit that I need, the resilience that I need to maneuver through this conflict, this challenge, this hardship. It doesn't make sense. And when we can start to understand emotions, it's not to bypass emotions. We all have emotions for a reason. All of them matter. It's the relationship that you have with your emotions that makes the difference of how you're functioning and the reality that you're moving through, as well as the outcomes that you're going to experience. Mastery, self-mastery, one of the key core principles is emotional fluency, right? You need to understand your emotions. When you start to understand what worrying actually is, and then you hold it against, well, what's the outcome I want here? When you are worrying about somebody, you're not doing them a service. And this is what's so interesting. A lot of times people feel that when you're worrying, you're being productive in some kind of honorable way. If you're not worrying, then it's this idea that, oh, you don't care. No, that's not true. The most caring thing that you could do is to not bring worry energy into the experience, because again, when you understand the laws of the universe and you understand the energetics of life, you understand that worrying is literally taking you in the opposite direction that you need and want to go. It's literally lethal to the victories that you're aiming for. It's like, it's not getting you where you want to go. It's not supporting anybody that you care about. Worry energy. I remember saying that to my mom a long time ago. I will not worry about you. I won't worry about you. And by the way, it's not easy to do because I think we all have this sort of default setting in us to gravitate towards the worry mode. And I understand why. I mean, it's not, a lot of times it's coming from a place of love, but ultimately, foundationally, it's coming from fear. Love, yes, but fear is really, and we never want to be building from fear. I don't think you do either. Because when we build from fear, there's, first of all, the instability of whatever we're building from is there. And we want to build things from a very stable place. Love energy does that. Fear energy doesn't. There's cracks in the foundation, right? So maybe you're that person right now and you're navigating something really hard and there's a lot of worry energy activated in you. So I want you to really think about what this is doing. And I want you to try and be logical about it. Again, I know that's not easy, but if you actually write it out on paper, what is this worrying energy doing for me? How is this supporting me? How is it supporting you? And how is it supporting you? And that's a real question. When you actually think about it, how is worrying about whatever the circumstance is, what is it doing for you? If you can't list 1 to 3 positive things, I'm going to say if you can't list one thing, then you have to investigate that and go, what am I doing? Okay, what could I be doing different outside of worry? This morning in my meditation, while the fires are happening in my family, my loved ones, I have a home in LA, just currently not there, but in meditation, I asked the universe, I said, how could I be of highest service today? And my whole body got chills in that moment. It was really incredible, actually, to experience. And I know, and I knew in that moment, worrying wasn't the answer. I am in service to no one, and especially myself, when I'm worrying. I probably said that word 500 times in this fucking episode, but the idea is, again, this is a game time decision episode, and that happens sometimes on the show. You know, I'll be driving to studio and I have an agenda for an episode, but I get intercepted because of whatever. I know that when I get intercepted, it's because some of you or many of you in this moment right now needed this message. I'm just here to remind you that worrying is losing. And if you want to win, if you want someone that you love to win, and winning means a lot of things, right? I'm not talking about the sport. I'm talking about conquering a challenge. Then you have to think, is worrying going to help that? Or is it actually going to not allow for that? And we know the answer is the latter. Because again, I'll wrap out this episode by saying worrying energy literally robs you of your courage, your resilience, your clarity, your composure, your confidence, your focus, and your attention. And everything that I just listed, all of those qualities are a necessity. They're critical for conquering any kind of challenge. So sit with that, feel into that, journal about this. Self-directed writing. It's a powerful tool to get you through any challenge because you come into a deeper relationship with your authentic self. You're really coming to understand why you're thinking this way, the stories that you're navigating, why you felt that way or why you're feeling this way, you know, the patterns, the beliefs, all of it. It is such a powerful tool. It is the key tool that I use in my mentorship with women. If you'd like to go deeper with that, you know, self-directed writing with me, come hang out with me in my Substack. I mentor you. We do challenges, writing challenges. We do live calls. It's really effective. It's very powerful and it's fun. It's a tool that you get to own for your life, for the rest of your life. It's very, very empowering. And ultimately, it's just reminding you and literally putting the power back in you if you feel, you know, disconnected from it, or even if it's something that you want to heighten and to fortify. It's there for you. You have agency. And that's what this writing, this type of writing and journaling helps to activate and to remind you of and to hold you steady within. So you can join me on Substack. There's a link in the bio, fucking Instagram. There's a link in the show notes, in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. I'd love to know if this hit your heart in a way that was, you know, potent for you, if it did something for you. Communicate with me. I'm here for all of the after talks, you know, whether it's on YouTube, you find me on Instagram, Roxy Look, but again, Substack's my favorite place. You can connect with me there too. And I really do hope that this just did just something enough to at least to make you think about that. And the next time you have worry energy feeling very activated, first of all, you're aware that this is an energy being activated and that you hear my voice, that worrying is losing and I want you to win. So let's pivot that worry into energy that actually helps you win. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review.